So this should be a really good matchup. Action, a very strong Zerg player going up against Mini, who has been very consistent over the past few years. Not somebody that you expect to necessarily win a tournament, but a very, very solid player. Always does well. Top 16, top 8, that type. Now we do have Overwatch. These games were played a few weeks ago, and I have been seeing more Overwatch games. I don't remember why. I think it was because of the ASL Team League, but I can't remember for sure. Now we do have action at top left, Mini at bottom right. Now we've been seeing more Protoss players go for Gateway Expand. I wonder if Mini will go for that again. I would really like to see it on this particular map. One, because it's a two-player map, you know exactly where the Zerg player is, even though it is cross spawns. You do have the tight bridges that we're about to see as Zerg gets some vision, where even if you are running into Massling, you can hold position here and trade extremely well. But as I say that, it looks like Mini's got other plans. He instantly sends out his probe. Now I have seen a few times where the Protoss players will show their probe and then follow up with a gateway at the net anyways. Kind of a mind game, making the Zerg think that this is a Forge expand, when in reality it is actually a gate expand. Now that probe just stops right before the bridges. Thought it was going to be some type of mind game, but looks like it was just a misclick. Now that does force an instant pull from action. It is not going to be a 12 hatch. It looks like that this was just an overpull. The probe harass already dealing a decent amount of damage to that bottom drone. He's going to have to be careful. Now Mini, this might actually be a 12 Nexus. In fact, I think it is going to be a 12 Nexus. Nope, it is just going to be a Forge. So he does know that the overpull is going to be a little bit too fast, even though it is cross spawns, not willing to risk going for the Nexus first. Now, what does he want to follow up with? Because these days I see more and more players go for fast Zealots, or not necessarily fast Zealots, but a lot of Zealots. They go for more mineral-based econ. We've been seeing more often players, or the Protoss players, skipping their gas at their nat for quite a while, which used to be the trend about a year and a half ago, where people were going for more Stargate-based play. So we'll wait and see what Mini actually has planned for us in this match. Now action, there's no gas at the main. Okay, there we go. 235 gas. So this is standard timing for the Zerg player. This is going to be lair play, not going to be 973. Probe does see the drone moving over there, and because he has been pushed out of the main, he may actually think that this is 973, when in reality it is not 973. Now Protoss, I am a little bit surprised there's still no gas for him. But he is just continuing to power. He's pumping out more and more probes. His Nexus is going to be coming up pretty soon. Lings are doing a good job to keep this probe back. I really like when Zerg players build 4 Lings, so they can keep these 2 Lings just on the probe and then hold position on the ramp. But Action's decided that 2 Lings is enough to keep this probe from Mini back for now. Gas is going up. Cybernetics should be starting pretty soon from Mini. Nexus is done. Gonna have the transfer. And we do have 100 gas for Action. His lair is going to be started any moment now, I think. He's got the gas for it. Still hasn't used it just yet, so maybe he is saving it for something. Looks like he's actually getting speed. Oh, he is actually getting a Hydrogen and speed, so no lair. This is really something that I have not seen from Zerg players when they open with the 235 gas, so a bit of a shock for me, really. Now, Protoss, again, has not seen this. First Zealot is moving across the map, and Overlord was completely out of position, so he has no idea that a Zealot is coming across the map. So he's going to need to start pumping out a couple Lings pretty soon. Otherwise, Protoss should be able to get into the main and see what's going on. We see that 4 Lings are already out. 2 more are coming in. So that's going to be 6 Lings. It's going to be more than enough to deal with 1 probe, 1 Zealot. But Mini's in trouble, because this really does look like it's going to be lair if he had gotten into the main. I wonder if he knows that this 3rd hatch was a little bit late and also suspects it's lair. Stargate has started. And when 973 was very popular, I remember Zero saying that basically if you open Stargate, you're dead. So this Zealot's going to come in. He's going to see the first couple Hydras. Instant Citadel too, and there was instant gas for Mini. So he's got everything going for him except for the Stargate. But the Stargate will help supply block the Zerg player if there is any type of big fight. But the first couple Hydras have been confirmed, and Mini's got to scramble to get up some cannons. He was most likely going to go into DT with this Citadel follow-up, but now it's probably just going to be straight Storm. Overlord in the base overstayed his welcome, I think, but may actually get in range of the front. It can now be defended by these Hydras. So he knows exactly what's going on. The Overlord actually is going to survive. So really nicely done from Action, and Mini's in big time trouble. He's spending a ton of resources on these cannons, and it's actually only 4 Hydras. Okay, there's 5, and now Action is just droning. Now Protoss doesn't know this, so he's going to send out his Ser and get a glimpse at what Zerg is doing, try and evaluate how many cannons he should build. Should he build more? When he sees that Zerg is just droning, he will back off on building cannons, but 4 is kind of a moderate amount, not an overwhelming amount, so it's a good read from Mini so far to not overreact. He's got his second gateway coming up. He did start his Templar Archive, but he skipped it for quite a bit to make sure that he could get the cannons up, so smart move from him. And now he sees that Zerg is just powering really hard, so the initial threat is over. Mini has a good probe count. He started to go back into mining his gas. Now, he's probably going to throw down a few more gateways pretty soon. He still hasn't started hasn't started speed, but he's got double forge coming in, so he's going to have +1 weapon and +1 armor coming at the same time. So even though his army is obviously extremely lacking right now, this is about a 3-minute upgrade. So at about 9:30 to 10 minutes, we're going to see him move out with an extremely strong army. Going to have 1-1 going for him. DT is coming out, but I'm not sure if he can actually scoop by these Hydras and Lings. Now the lair is about halfway done for Action, so he's going to be getting his fire up pretty soon. And there aren't that many Sers that were produced so far from Mini, so a Muta-Switch will be very deadly once it gets to that point in the game. And Mini does try and get by with the DT. It survives with 1 hit, so that's very lucky from him. And a nice reaction from Action to get that, or to deny the DT, because that could have scooted by for sure and got a lot of damage done. At the 3rd base, there are no Overlords. Now Action is feeling so confident he's going to take a 4th base at top right. Corsairs are doing a good job to keep scouting, keep evaluating what's going on. When he sees this 4th base go up, he's not going to be feeling very good about that, because he hasn't really even started his gateways. He's just now pumping out a couple Templar. Another DT is coming out. There's really nothing that he has that can deny top right. So we may not see a 1-1 timing really for Mini. This may be more towards a 2-2 timing, because I think the 1-1 timing, if he was going to go for that, he needs more gateways, and he needs them to have already been up by now. He does see that the Spire is halfway done. Action is mining gas at his Nat. He is starting to take his 3rd gas, so always a threat that there could be a Muta-Switch. So Mini has to account for that too. So he needs to start pumping out some Sers also, otherwise his Templar could get picked off extremely easily. Here come the gate. Oh, Dark Archon. Now, is this stuck? If this is stuck, that's a heartbreak. Okay, it's not stuck. But we do have 7 gates. Now, this is the type of army comp he's going to need if he wants to win this game. His time to kind of be aggressive on the map with Zealots, that's come and gone. Now he needs to pretty much just go for a super comp, something that can trade really effectively. Dark Archon is one of those units, comboed with a Storm, can just eviscerate infinite amounts of Mutas or Hydralisks. 7 gate for Mini. It's going to start range pretty soon. 1-1 is done. Shuttle or robotics is done too, so we're going to have observers coming out pretty soon. Now Mini does anticipate a Muta-Switch, so he does put up a cannon in his main, but we see that there are no Muta-Switches just yet. But he is spending quite a bit of gas, and it's mostly on Scourge for now. That is so many drones. He's going to be at 55 drones on 4 bases. I just don't really know how Mini can really do anything to Action right now. He's even going to get contained by lurkers. It feels like this Hydra opener from Action really just gave him a massive lead. Range has just now started, so it's going to be a while before there's critical mass goons too. So all of this is just adding up where Mini's got to get something done because the 4th is already up, but he can't do anything. Zealots are going to move across the map, but unbeknownst to him, I think he's just going to be running into the meat grinder. Nat is going to try and get busted, I guess, by these Zealots, but there's lurkers already in position. Some lurkers blocking the ramp too, so actually not going to be able to get by there. Third base, there are no lurkers there, but there's a okay, actually there are some lurkers and there are some hydras. So these Zealots, they need to run away. Instead, they're eating lurker shots. That's going to be a couple Zealots going down for free. And that's only a 10 supply lead for Protoss at 11 minutes. Never a good sign for you if Zerg is matching your supply. And definitely not a good sign for you if Zerg is at 4 base and has basically 10 supply a minute. Now Mini in response is going to take his 3rd base, but Main's going to be mined out pretty soon. He needs to think about even getting a 4th base, but Overwatch is one of those maps where you got to travel quite far to get a 4th base, and mid-right is definitely not an option for him. It would be so close to the Zerg that they could just essentially rally there. And we do finally have a couple goons coming out. Action is still very low on gas. Doesn't look like he is going for a muta switch. He did see the Dark Archon, so he's not willing to risk it. 3rd base is going to be up for Mini. His army is super strong. He's going to have 2-2 in about a minute and a half. But Zerg has got Hive going. Probably going to take a 5th base pretty soon. And he's matching the supply. Lurkers, Ling, Hydra are coming in. Looks like he is just going to play defensively for now. Just go for the more passive style, more larva-esque. Mini does start taking his 4th base, so Mini is doing a good job to catch up here, but Zerg is doing a good job too. His units aren't really that upgraded, only +1 weapon on the Hydras. A decent storm there, connects with a few Lings, but not much else. I think Action needs to back off now. Lings do get to bottom left. He does confirm that the 4th is going up, but I don't think he actually has enough to stop it from happening. More units are trying to stream across the map. Now the lurkers are in a good position where they have cut off bottom left. And now this is going to be a dead base for Mini. And now he's in a world of hurt. I thought for sure he was actually going to be able to hold this. But instead, there's no real angle for him to come in from. He's going to get funneled up if he tries to engage from this position. A counterattack might be his only option. But there's so much Zerg here. If he tries to counterattack, he probably loses his 3rd base. So instead, he just gives up his 4th base. Hive is done. Crackling has started. Defiler Mound coming in. I just don't see how Mini can really do anything. There's so many lurkers. That's a decent Maelstrom, but not able to get that many units with the Storm combination. There's so many lurkers just sitting here and waiting for Protoss to move down. 153 to 152. And now that Lings are being pumped out, they have +1 weapon themselves. They got Crack halfway done. I think Mini just gets run over here in the next few seconds. Main is basically mined out. Nat is about to be mined out. 2-2 is done. He is starting to go into +3 weapon and get shields. But there's so much Zerg and his units are completely out of position. A backstab would probably end this game. Mini's going to move down. I think if Action just backstabs right now, he wins. But instead, he's going to try and make sure that Protoss can't get out onto the map. That is a fine move. He's going to force. Oh man, Zerg is moving in on Protoss. There's one Maelstrom, but that hits a ton of Hydras. But how much Storm is available? That hits all of the Hydras. Really nicely done. But just so many Lurkers. So much reinforcing units from Zerg. They're on 8 hatches. I don't see a 5th base from Zerg, but he does have defense set up at bottom left to deny the 4th base. But now Protoss is starting to get a supply lead. There's not that many Lurkers left over. So actually Mini might be able to bust through here. He's got to be careful to not throw away his Zealots into the Lurker field. Make sure that they stay alive. But instead, he just clears a few and backs off. He's going to try and get this 4th base. He's getting starved for money. He has to clear it. But the Lurker-Ling Hydra combination on high ground, way too strong. He was really not expecting that. And now he's getting surrounded from all angles. Hydras from the back. Hydra and Lurker. Oh, no, actually, Hydra and Lurkers go up to the high ground platform. Now they have the advantage on the high ground. He's found an exposed third base. There's no Maelstrom, but I think this might actually be a mistake. Yeah, he does back off for now. He does not want to get sandwiched by the Protoss army. He finds some isolated Zealots over here. And Mini's army is just split up. Zerg is doing a good job to send more and more Lurkers and Lings across the map. More Hydras coming too. Storm is not available on these two Templars, so if they get picked off just like that one did, that's going to be a lack of AoE. But the Zerg army is kind of fizzling out, but they do pack quite a punch with the Cracklings and Hydras. Looks like Mini's going to survive for now, but he desperately needs a base. Nat is basically gone. He's essentially on one base mining. Fourth base has been denied, though. Where does he actually go? Not here! He's trying to get through the bridge, but that's just the meat grinder. Lurker, Ling, Hydra just sitting there, and these fat goons are taking up so much space, preventing all of the Zealots from getting in. The goons are just getting clumped up on top of each other, and he's going to be pushed back. Supplies have plummeted quite far for both players, down to 130, but that's fine for Action. He still has 4 bases. He's going to be taking mid left, so that's a 5th base for him. He's got his monster upgrades about to complete. +2. Protoss has +2 weapon, soon to be +3 weapon, and +1 shields. But he has nothing that can really kill overwhelming amounts of Lings and Lurkers. He's got a handful of goons. He's only got 2 Templars. He needs more AoE, but he's gas starved. He's doing a good job to keep his gas down, but he's got to get this base, and he just can't get it. Dark Archon moves up here. Most likely going to fall to these Lings, but he will manage to actually bust through, but at what cost? The Lurker's dealing so much damage to these Zealots. Supply lead now for Action. He's still got the 53 drones. His econ is still stellar. We saw a small Zealot counter to top right. I thought it was a DT at first, but it found no success there. And now +2 has kicked in for the Zerg. +2 Lurkers, I assume also. He's got Defilers comboed now, and he's got Dark Swarm and Plague. Oh, the Observer's a little bit late, and he just takes some free hits there, and there's just so much there. I think this is most likely going to be the killing move. More units streaming across the map. A big Plague there hits a lot of the goons. There's just nothing that can fight Ling, Lurker, Hydra, and Dark Swarm and Plague. Templars get picked off! And that's got to be it. Supplies are just too low now for Mini. He's trying to desperately get up bottom left. He's spamming cannons, but he just has a lackluster army. And there's just so much Zerg everywhere. 5th base is done. Just needs to saturate and transfer some drones over there. And Zerg knows that bottom left's going up, so he instantly goes to counter. There's only 1 Storm available, and once that goes down, unless it wipes out all the Lings, which it did not, this is going to be a dead base. And it's just a matter of resources now. Mini just doesn't have the money. He doesn't have the econ. He doesn't have the unit comp. And this is going to be Zerg more than likely taking down Mini. There it is, GG. So Action with a very convincing win, really just running Mini over. And I thought Mini's response was pretty good, but the explosion of econ for Action a little bit too much to handle. So let's get into our 3rd game. Remember, this is Pro League style, so we've already had Rush win, Action win, so it's a 1-1 series right now. And our next set is going to be Sharp versus Zero.